Howdy, and welcome to the round table for Curse of the Clockwork City. As you know, I'm Brooke Bullock, joined by the amazing
Michael Cross.
I am the 2014 edition of Johnny Payne.
That bad, huh?
I think we got the first edition version of Michael Cross.
I'm getting there. Oh, I got to talk about my birthday present. Go on.
No longer humanoid?
Still humanoid.
Oh.
A 2014 version. Still humanoid.
Oh, 2014.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm Carrie Hester, and I'm here, I swear.
I'm Connor Shenold. I was minted back in 1992.
Ooh.
I got that stamp on me and everything.
It's a rare.
In Denver or Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
Did you get the stamp with a misspelling? Because if so, you're worth millions.
I wish.
Connor, you're priceless.
Thank you.
100%.
Priceless.
Oh my gosh. We are having a great time. We haven't seen each other in a while, or maybe it's just coming off of that wintry weather that like half the nation had a month ago or whatever. And
It was this week.
yes, but for the people, it's a month.
Yeah,
For some of us,
There's
though,
a time-
You gotta learn to
also,
time travel, Kieran.
I will say too. For some of us, the winter freeze. So, not to horror story, everyone. That first freeze, that first little tiny snowfall we had that weekend after New Year's,
Yeah.
and it got cold.
Right.
So my water slowed down to a trickle, and we were very diligent about keeping space heaters in front of the cabinets, everything. Everything got warmer, and it still stayed at a trickle. And I'm at work one day, and my phone rings. That's the city. And I answer. This guy's like, "Yeah, water was shooting out of someone's front yard, 2 doors down from you. And we traced it back to your meter. And we turned your water off."
Oh.
Oh.
Now, remember what I said this started?
Yeah.
Yes.
It just came back on and got 100% repaired Tuesday.
Oh,
When the freeze-
my
It was
goodness.
Monday night.
Oh my goodness.
Monday night we turned water on at work, and then Tuesday we got our normal free. Yeah, because one thing after another kept happening.
Yeah.
Our meter, oddly for some reason, is 3 doors down in front of a neighbor's yard. All of us in this little stretch of street are all in one yard, and so there was one plumber started the job and said, "Nope, too big, I don't want to do it." Another plumber started it, and the day he was supposed to finish, he's like, because we're staying in a hotel. Because we have
my
we have no
goodness.
water.
Oh my goodness.
So the plumber's like, he had someone pass away. And so we're like, oh, and then we like tried again to get some, and then finally it happened, and we have water. So to me, it froze, and it's froze that first weekend after the first, and has been frozen since then.
Yeah.
I love that for
Time
you.
just stopped
Jeez.
for me. I won't go into how I totaled my car that day also. That's another story. Carrie, what do you got?
Brooke and I have been out of school for like a week.
I know. It was crazy.
Suckers.
Monday-
My wife was out of school for Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, she had PD on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were all either a
Virtual day.
virtual day or snow day. And then finally she went back Friday.
Yep.
I am
So just for everyone who's listening to this, like it's going to be a couple weeks before you actually listen to this. We just had this massive cold snap in
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Where we went 72 hours below zero.
Exactly.
It is
So-
currently Saturday, February 22nd.
Yeah, and we are just now at 36. We finally made it above freezing for the first time since Monday.
And next week we're looking at highs in the 60s and 70s.
know.
Welcome to
The
Oklahoma.
good news for me with the weather is that right before this weather moved in, it had been pretty nice. And my buttercups in my front garden had started to come up, little green shoots, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna be below freezing. It's gonna kill my buttercups. They survived, guys.
Nice.
They're still
Nice.
green.
Well, they just
Heck
get-
yeah.
Oh, it's cloudy
Princess
too. There's a lot of
Bubblegum.
sun, yeah. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. Heck of a first part of the year. But
Yeah.
here we are now. I did see that March might get some snow, which is anyway. Enough about old men talking about weather.
Yeah, can we talk about Dungeons and Dragons now?
Can we talk about Dungeons and Dragons now? No, it's a Stranger Things reference. I wasn't-
Connor,
Yes,
you're
it
hip
is.
and
I
cool.
wasn't
Save
making
us.
Don't put me on the spot like that, Brooke.
Your knees hurt when it snows?
No, I'm not that old.
You're
Yeah.
not that-
1992, my friend. 1992.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the
With
youngest one here.
By just a handful of
know.
months.
I think all of us, but Johnny had graduated high school by then.
Well,
I'll graduate one day.
And we're
Always being held
we're
back.
confident in you.
Yeah.
You can do it, bud.
You're like,
do it.
You're like Kanicki.
Freaking A! Don't make me laugh.
All right.
Dungeons and Dragons.
So this is from Greece. It's a movie your parents used to watch after you went to bed at night.
yeah.
Go on.
Here is some behind-the-scenes secret action that the folks out there probably don't know, and that is, you're all level 3! Yay!
Which, if I'm kind of out of it, that's why I'm kind of still putting my character together. I did not follow the
Michael didn't read the message thread.
I'm a fighter,
see
so
the
I was
group
like, click
chat.
done. Michael's over here with like 3 books open.
Yeah.
I did my homework. Let
That's
the record show.
The
I'm
only-
usually the one that doesn't, so.
The
So
teacher's
if we're going to talk about levels, the only thing I will say right now is, yes, I went with Life Cleric. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, so we have a pass. That'd be crazy.
That's right.
So, if it seems kind of fast with that, and
I
maybe
will
it's not.
remind
Go.
you that we fought an orc, a half orc, 3 rats, 2 dinosaurs, and that trapdoor guy. I don't know what he was.
Like 1.5 orcs,
Just human and the
a
automaton.
robot.
And a robot.
There you go.
And since then, Michael and I fought a bunch of kobolds. Is it a fight if I just swing once and they all die?
I mean, we
that's
fought
kind
a
of your job.
couple of goons.
Yeah, we hit some thugs.
Who was it that posted about it was you that posted on Discord about the fighter?
Yes.
Like Dave was really good at swords. Just comes in. You got the wizard who does all this great stuff, and the monk who does all this amazing stuff, and then you got Dave who's really good at swords.
Listen,
Like
if
his
you
opening motion against, Grothnor, Death God, and is to swing a sword.
Just to hit him with a sword.
Hack troll with sword.
This is that's the plot of Brian. If there are any Jurassic Park fans out there, is that Brian
that's right,
became an
yes.
adventurer because he thought that swords would get him a girlfriend, and so he became dual wielding, so he could get twice as many girlfriends,
There you
and
go.
it didn't work.
He definitely got ghosted.
Kiri mentioned all of those folks that were doing that all
That we
those
fought.
opponents, all those things, all those successes that you guys had, and I am doing a little bit of a milestone EXP mashup a little bit, so that hopefully those two things line up and help our progress. Not too fast, but also doesn't linger us behind too much. And you were exactly right. I went back to an old school, like 1st edition rule that you can't grab more than 1 level at a time. And so you guys had enough EXP to be 3rd level after the fishery, right?
But we had to spend some time in
But
level
you needed
2.
to spend just a little bit of time in level 2.
Which was fun. We did a lot of
We
role
paid,
playing
yeah,
during
that
we
was a
paid our
fantastic
RP
session.
dues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic session. With that, we got to see Iris Stone Cipher. We got to see more of Minthra. We got to see
Logan Mitchell.
August's old friend. So, and I will say in episode 14, the outtakes of episode 14 are like an episode unto themselves. Like it was totally worth it, but probably one of our longest sets of outtakes ever.
Yeah.
We probably needed it for the time, but
It
but
worked
it was really
well,
great.
yeah.
It was really, really great. To talk about character things for a minute, you guys jump in with all kinds of things. We'll circle back around and talk about kind of like 3rd level choices and things in a minute. But Connor, if you don't mind, talk about that moment when you draw, that evil,
Oh God, it picked me.
where you draw the blade.
Where you try to trigger
on
some
Iris
PvP.
Stone's- Like I, if you had not been a member of the party, I think that Dr. Elias would have shot you with a crossbow.
Yeah, probably.
And that's just because Michael didn't. Elias Stone might have considered it a little bit more than Michael did.
That's true. That's right. For Michael, it was just shoot him. Just shoot him.
Shoot him, get him out of here.
I can heal him again.
Go.
Yeah, so I almost wanted it to kind of read, and I don't know how well I did on that. His initial first grab at her as kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, in which, like, oh no, I've been had. Let me turn the situation around.
I could see that, the kind of the stress of that, like, oh crap. Yeah.
And then it kind of quickly came into, okay, let's do like a quote unquote good cop, bad cop kind of routine here. And I remember talking to Brooke about this later, and I was like, okay, so here's kind of my thought process behind some of this. So if I become a threat, and I knew she was close friends to Dr. Stone, so he would obviously try and stand up for her, which he did.
Yes.
And so me kind of being like the threat in the room, but Michael kind of being or Dr. Stone being the quote unquote savior of it, of like trying to talk me out of it, like kind of pushes her a little bit closer to, yes, she was already friends with him, but growing that trust even more. And we did get her to agree at least to look more into the benefactor for us.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you discussed this with Brooke.
And not me.
You did not discuss it with your partner going in.
Nope.
Because had you, I think it would have been. I just say as
Sable
based on my
doesn't trust
character-
Dr. Stone as an actor.
Well, which is I understand, but I think it would have been. Dr. Stone would have totally understood. Like, okay, well then let's do that. Let's do the good cop, bad cop type thing. But instead, I might have shot you.
I will say, good cop, bad cop was discussed, but I don't remember anything about drawing blades.
Yeah. Well, and
Because even I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I don't know if it. I mean, it would be really hard for Dr. Stone to have pulled that trigger in any. Unless you actually
and that was
hurt her.
what Sable was kind of counting on.
Because he's a healer. He's
Because Sable
Hippocratic
wasn't
oath and all
actually going to harm her in any way. He actually likes the work that she does.
Yeah.
But part of it was to push her enough to get an even more genuine response from her. Like, obviously I did like an insight for Sable and could tell that she was telling us the truth, that she had no idea about this. But I don't know, just it felt like the scene needed an added push. And especially with, I talked about this in our chat, but Moxie and August going to see Logan Mitchell and having like, oh, this is my old friend, let's have a sit-down talk conversation. And then going to our conversation with Sable and Dr. Stone, it's, oh, I'm going to go see an old friend, let's have a talk conversation.
Yeah.
So I really think that Sable being so aggressive really kind of helped separate those
change
two
the difference.
scenes.
Yeah.
Connor as a
Yes.
storyteller.
Yeah, and so unless of course Moxie decided to hold fire bolts to this guy's head.
Oh, it would not have been to his head. He had his pants off.
Yeah, he's a guy.
Which we hopefully, kind of like the Harry Potter stories, hopefully our audience that might have been younger has grown with us a little bit, because there were some great things in the outtakes about that as well.
Yeah, I also love that episode 13 only having outtakes from what Moxie and August were doing.
It was very serious in the doctor's office. We had to.
There was
no
funny 'cause that's all I'm
outtakes.
doing is I'm editing these. I'm pulling these down. I'm like, oh, I'll use this later. I'll edit. I'll pull later. And there's nothing. All I did was
Very
shorten a little bit of
serious.
stuff, but there was
Yeah,
Because
it kind of goes back to campaign 1 of, well, now I have to kill this whole halfling family.
I have to kill this whole
Right?
town.
Only-
Except the difference is
Exactly.
the difference is that Kiri and Poppy were the only ones that didn't think it was a joke. Okay?
Which made it better.
In the doctor's office, nobody thinks that's a joke.
Yeah, no. As a player, I hadn't been able to read John yet, and so I was like, oh my God, is he gonna go murder hobo on these people? Because Zonimus was so mysterious and such.
Because if you believed Zonimus was going to go murder hobo on these people, you'll stop telling the general store owner who you are, where you're from, and what your plot is, and who your friends' names are, and what equipment you got.
Of course, I love that.
helpful.
I don't want to kill everyone in the town. I'm tired.
Yeah, stop making me do this.
Versus, I'm looking for it right now, real quick. Versus Scott Wise in the Discord, who quoted the little clip from Wreck-It Ralph, of the villains all around. He's like, "This is totally Sable. I am bad, and that is good. I will never be good,
And that's not bad.
Sable has some issues, and I'm here for it.
We need to get you a therapist.
Oh, speaking of, just to segue for a second, So level 3 Sable. Any secrets that you want to divulge? Any ideas or like future plans, pathways?
I feel like now this is kind of an open secret, but I took the assassin subclass.
Shock, surprise.
This could be exciting.
It gives me some fancy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which I get like advantage on attacks before a creature has taken their turn, and then gain proficiency with disguise kits and poisoneers kits.
And of course, that's really helpful because you also have that bit where you can swap initiatives with people, so we can put you first in the initiative, and then you get advantage on anybody that you want. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Pretty freaking cool. That's your feat, that swap initiative element, right?
Yes, that was from my background.
There you
Yeah.
go.
August has
But
that
August
too.
has it too, right? Because you guys have done like some multiple like do.
Yeah.
You swap with them, and then I swap with
We're
them,
really
and then
finagling it.
Oh, it's going even better now that I leveled. It's,
Yeah.
Well, speaking of good sir, tell us about your common fighter.
So you mean champion?
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Got a couple of fancy things. Improved critical, so I can crit on a 19 now.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
And then I got Remarkable Athlete, which is pretty cool. Immediately after I score a crit, I can move up to half my speed without provoking. And also I have advantage on initiative and strength athletic checks.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah. So there's that. Going backwards and looking at it, I've got Tactical Mind, which it's kind of like the second part of Hex.
Oh, go on.
It lets
What do you
me
mean?
expend Second Wind to take my Second Wind D10 and add it to my ability check roll. Raise your hand if you've made an ability check in the last 90 days.
Yeah.
In the last 200 days. No, when was the last time you made an ability check?
Well,
Ability check?
Ability check.
He makes him do it.
But it's very rare.
Right.
It's like the second part of Hex.
Outside of Brooke at the table, yeah.
It's like you're hexed and also ability check that no one does them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
There you go.
So maybe 2024 will bring them back because I've seen it pop up a few other times in places and stuff. So
that's just very, very, very cool.
yeah.
I like that a lot.
Got a robot.
Yeah.
And an intern.
And an intern.
And
Otto and Toby. We want to see their spin-off show.
the
Yep.
goblin.
He's a kobold.
Kobe the
kobold,
kobold.
I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
yep.
Toby.
Kobe.
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 Is he Kobe?
Kobe.
I thought you were saying Toby this whole time.
No. There'd have been a lot of jokes in there if we did that.
There you go. It's in one of the outtakes, and it just the way the vibe works. Someone else picked up on what the image that was in my head because it's a plan and it's going to be a thing now. I cannot wait for all the hats that Kobe is going to wear, like literally and figuratively. Right? I've already got him.
He's a waitress.
I've already got him geared up to have a little chef's hat at some point. He can help Dr. Stone and have the little nurse's hat.
No, that is not going to happen. That is way too unclean.
I'm all for it.
Oh, just wait.
We can get him gloves.
Before you bring him inside.
We'll get him some gloves. He can be a receptionist with his long nails.
Receptionist.
Hold, please.
Clickety clack, click, 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 click.
Please.
Dr. Stone's office, what do you want?
He's booked solid. You can't get in.
Are you injured or dying?
Only injured? We only accept the dying.
Right, there's triage on the phone. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it hurt?
Oh, you're only slightly bleeding? Come on in. Oh, you're bleeding a lot? Just stay where you are.
Have you tried cutting it off
Please,
and putting it back
please
on?
hang up and dial 911.
What do you mean?
You don't have a message?
Have you recently lost a limb? We can give you a referral.
Yikes. Next. That's August.
Kiri, what about you as far as with Moxie?
Don't say her name like that. I didn't like that.
Moxie.
That was very Austin Powers of you.
Moxie, get your arse over here,
Yeah,
lass.
it was,
Moxie. That's like Frankenfurter. Moxie.
Oh, Moxie.
Moxie.
I now know how Reynard is going to say Moxie's name.
Oh, Moxie.
I will rage quit this podcast.
I have a loud noise coming up. Hold it. There we go. Sorry, go for it.
So, I mean, level 2, I think it was level 2 at least. I picked up Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Of course, which gives me half my proficiency to ability checks that are with a, right?
Sorry.
It's me making an ability check is much more frequent than NPCs making ability checks. But it gives me half proficiency on anything I'm not proficient in, essentially. Which right now is just 1, but that's okay because that'll go up with me as I go up.
Yeah.
I went ahead and picked a 2024 subclass for Bard, and I picked up College of Dance. And you're thinking to yourself, Kiri, that makes no sense.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Here's the thing. So, back when we were talking about where we wanted to start with this and stuff like that, Brooke revealed that he wanted to start us at level 1, and I heavy sighed.
I side with you. There were Gale Force wins.
At the time, I was going to play a cleric, so I was fine at first level.
I
But then they changed everything.
I personally prefer to start at level 3. That's a personal preference of mine. Just because I find that it is different in a home game where you do a lot of storytelling hand waving. But trying to find a reason for Moxie to be a bard without any bardic training at level 1. What? I already knew the idea of the siren song. I already had that. So I went ahead and added the Tom Cruise of it all to Moxie's character. So she's, doing the fancy bottle work and stuff like that. And I was like, that'll kind of be like her bardicness. And so that lended itself into around that time was when 2024 officially released. And Michael was like, have you heard about the College of Dance? I'm going to read something to you.
Do it, yeah.
Because you don't have the book, Kiri. I need you to read this. So we went ahead and picked that up, and Brooke and I have had some conversations about what that might look like at level 4, level 5, and so on and so forth. And there are some things down the lines that I'm really excited about that I don't want to talk about yet, just in case the story takes a wild turn. You never know. So, but I did pick up College of Dance. Don't worry, Dr. Stone and August are not going to drop Moxie off at her dorm and she's going to disappear for 6 episodes. That's not how this works. No. Fantasy College, it's all online now.
Crystal ball.
You zoom in, obviously, to your dance college. But the cool thing that we get right here at level 3 when I first start College of Dance here is a thing called Dazzling Footwork. And it gives me there's a few bullet points here. I have advantage on charisma or performance checks that involve dance. How often is that going to happen? Maybe not very, but it's fine. My base AC is now 15. 10 plus dex plus charisma. So I'm just adding my charisma to my AC. When I expend, I can expend a use of my Bardic as a bonus action or reaction. When I use Bardic Inspiration, like if I give Bardic to Sable as a bonus action, I can now punch somebody.
There you go.
I can do an unarmed strike as part of that same action. And then I use Dex instead of Strength for unarmed strike. And then when I deal damage, I can deal 1d6 plus 2 bludgeoning damage. And if you go back to your listener, you can see that Kiri had kind of decided this, and then it worked out in my favor. And dear listener, if you go back and listen to seasons 1 and 2, you'll see this happens to Kiri sometimes, where maybe I have a subconscious storytelling brain, but things will work themselves in without me realizing it. So I had already kind of decided that I was going to do this College of Dance. Then circumstances happen, and I find myself punching a dinosaur.
Yeah, it worked out really, really well.
And that was just a coincidence, but it works really well for the storytelling. And kind of the way I'm picturing it in my head is the scene from Kingsman where he's fighting all of these people, and it looks very ballet-esque in like vibe. You know what I mean? It feels very dancing the way he's fighting these guys. It doesn't feel like I just walk up and punch them. It feels very dance-like. And so I'm picturing kind of that's where that's going. And then we've got some, like I said, Brooke and I have cooked up some things and some ideas on how to like maybe add some pizzazz without making things unbalanced and stuff like that. So right now that's all I got. Right now.
Oh, I want to go back and touch on how, Carrie was saying that, level 1, how did I become like super bardic at level 1 and stuff? And modern D&D is a superhero game, basically. So I figured you just got bit by a bardic spider.
A dancing bardic spider.
Yeah,
No, here's what it is. It's that frog, the hello, my baby.
WC.
You have a mentor frog in the back somewhere. But that's kind of a comparison between 5e and earlier editions. I don't remember if it was in 3rd or not, but in 1st and 2nd edition, you definitely had to have a training period. Like, as you leveled up, there was like built-in downtime where you had to pay money and do training.
Sure.
And it wasn't just
Pathfinder 1 had it. You had to have built-in downtime to expend to be able to grow your character, and if you didn't have it, you wasted it on something else. In the society games,
right.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't have any downtime left. It's like, well, then you don't have the time to go to the next town, find the weaponsmith, train up with them on this style of fighting, so you can't use it. Yeah.
Oh, that's very, very cool. But nowadays, it really does become a discussion of, so do you just do it video game style? Do you just do it superhero style, where that battle is over? Or you're
ding,
walking around
and suddenly
the corner
you have
and
7
then,
spells.
I will say,
jump, like something unlocks inside of you. Or
Brooke, you kind of did it Rocky style. We had some downtime and a bit of a montage. There towards the end of episode 13 and going into 14, after we kind of figure out what we want to do. And I'm running a business. Sable's doing whatever.
That workaround that she found on you, Connor, was really great.
We'll talk about
So
that
funny.
Dr. Stone is out there trying to get a small business loan.
Apparently going into real estate.
I thought that it was listen, I needed to contact Sable there, and I've asked in previous episodes if there was a way for me to like hang a lantern in a window. And Sable's like, no, you can't talk to me.
So here's the thing. You could send your message to the other businesses all you want. I'm still showing up when I show up.
That's true.
For sure. But now you know that I do have something to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And if you choose to ignore it, that's an educated decision that you've made versus not knowing.
There you go. So speaking of, well, before we talk about that little hint of training and locales and stuff, Michael, I know a moment ago you teasingly said, I'm a life cleric next, but anything particular or specific?
No, so we were trying to figure out how I could actually identify. I think is going to be a very important thing in this, because identify is not as big a deal when you're dungeon crawling. You've got the thing and you can just either use it or not. with this, so I figured out how I can do identify. I have Magic Initiate, and every time I level up, I can take a new 1st level spell. I had Shield.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just going to take Identify, which I can still cast ritually. So that'll be a good thing to have. So
just to be like Dur, way back in episode 1 in Dr. Stone's like little kid backstory flashback, we see him kind of having a little magical talent.
right, and that's where
that's it.
Yeah, that's where
that's
because he's
awesome.
human, and
Yeah.
so he's human. He gets a free feat.
Yeah.
In 2024. So I chose Magic Initiate for that. The idea was that he already had some kind of latent ability to do magic. It kind of went away when situations happened. He got thrown in an orphanage, and then eventually found his cleric skills
Yes.
that he was able to do cleric spells, but he still has a little bit of magic about him, a little bit of and that's why he's proficient in Arcana. That's why he can write scrolls. That's why he can do those kind of things. So, yeah.
That's very, very cool.
Side question: August E. Graymore, is he human?
Yes.
So I'm the oldest person in this
Yes.
campaign,
Yeah.
which is wild. I'm usually the youngest.
Yeah, and well, it's you're so tall too. I think this is
I'm
the
also
tallest character
tall.
you've ever had.
Is she the tallest?
I'm not the tallest.
It's the horns.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
pretty
the-
sure you're taller.
I'm only 5. I think I only said I was like 5'9".
I only ever want to be taller than a character Michael plays.
I think I am. I'm always all my characters are taller because I cannot stand being. I have such short.
I think small things are cute.
legs. But I don't think I know I wrote it down somewhere that I was because they don't have it on the news character.
But we're
sheet.
all medium,
Michael, do, you
so.
do you think that
Yeah.
you're short?
Me? Yeah, I am short.
No.
Oh,
I don't
You're
look at Michael
average.
that short.
Yeah, you're
I'm
average.
5'9". I know I'm average.
Average.
Average. You fit more
But you have to
places.
understand, and here's the thing, and it started way back in high school, was that
So you just hung
I
around
had
with basketball
friends-
players, so now you think that you're short.
All of my friends in high school were at 6 foot or taller, and so I always felt like the fifth guy in a basketball team. I'm like, everybody around
Come
me.
in, guys.
So,
Give me
yeah.
the ball, guys.
Guys, come on.
You know, if Dr. Stone doesn't form a basketball team, he might be looking to get an office.
That's right. So I am going to find a doctor's office because apparently I can't stay at the siren
You're a
song,
man!
Whatever. I think that's sexist, personally.
Fine.
And
But no, I figured I had to go find myself a place like a actual tavern or someplace to stay.
Right.
But then I thought, well, it's kind of this area's kind of decided we was kind of a Skid Row type of an area.
Yeah,
so
on the
there's not
edge,
going
right?
to be the kind of healing that would be available, and that's what he did in Calamera.
He's our Dr. Quinn.
He heals the people who can't necessarily pay for it. Maybe they can pay with
We can pay you in
with
chickens.
eggs or chickens or something like that.
So you're a socialist.
Yes, right. So I'm a socialist. Yes. So I thought, well, this is a great area for that, and so I am setting up a doctor's office, and eventually,
I was going to say mechanically, like you have a plan, right?
mechanically, we're going to make this into my bastion. Which, if you look up the new no Dungeon Master's Guide for 2024, it has rules for, which is it's almost just tighter, funner rules on the keep rules from first edition.
That's exactly right.
The only difference with keep rules were just basically you have a keep and you have hirelings.
Yes.
That's it. This actually,
And they
you
were
can-
costs involved and things
Right.
like that, but there weren't too many, like, if I remember correctly, not too many, like, in-game actual for your character benefits. Like,
Right.
there was prestige and there was, income that would come, but there was always, but go ahead, because in 2024,
So the 2024 rules there's a little bit of mechanical issues. For example, I think I'm going to be choosing Sanctuary as now. Oh, by the way, none of this can happen until 5th level. But
very nice.
At 5th level, I'm thinking about picking Sanctuary as one of the things that I'll have. And that allows me to, after every long rest, I get a free use of Healing Word.
Okay.
So, and then later on, once you reach 9th level, you can start making magic items. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. I'm really excited about just all the things that I can possibly do with it. It just gives a little bit more of a flavor to, and you have hirelings. You have, for me, they wouldn't necessarily be hirelings so much as actual employees. I've got,
So, like, there's obviously, like, the classic things like the fighter stronghold or the cleric's, shrine. Maybe it grows to a temple. The wizard's tower, of course. But doctor's office, like, isn't on the, like, official list and stuff. So, are you thinking, like, in the future, are you thinking, like, using, like, the arcane study rules or the library rules, or you haven't dug that deep yet?
That's what I'm talking about. So it's the doctor's office is more. It's going to have, because it comes with 2 basic rooms, 2 just regular rooms, and I'm going to do a bedroom, obviously, and then a parlor, which I'm going to make into a waiting room / examination, curtains examination room. Those are my 2 basic rooms. The other room I'm going to have like I think not warehouse. It started with a W though.
Workshop.
Workshop.
Yeah.
Someplace where I can do things like that, and then also
that's expertise and a skill.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that will be separate from it, but it'll still be part of the entire bastion. So there's the workshop, the sanctuary. I was thinking about maybe doing a garden also, but yeah.
Michael, you seem like one of those people that would spend like 4 hours building a house in The Sims and not play The Sims.
Yes. Oh, that was Minecraft. That was Minecraft. I built an entire castle on Minecraft. Had no idea what to do with it. I quit because I had no idea what I was supposed to. Well, I don't know. What do? I don't know. Apparently, you can go fight a dragon. I never got around to that.
Johnny, you're raising your hands
The
in victory.
noon alarm on Saturday in Oklahoma is going off, and the second thing is stop.
Praise the tornado beacons.
Anytime I hear a siren, I throw my arms up in the air because they're coming.
So what this means, now that Michael has spent all of this time thinking about learning the rules of figuring out how he can make his doctor's office work great, Brooke's gonna find us something to make us leave town.
Yeah.
Well, now you can maintain.
Don't get ahead of
you
me.
can't give it an order as long as you can figure a way to contact your employees.
Yeah.
They can maintain the bastion when you're not there.
It's listen, somebody's gonna walk up to your doctor's office, just like coughing up a lung, really needs to see the doctor. No doctor there. Sorry, gone adventuring.
So
written
real
on
life.
the door.
Sorry, God.
Kobe will be there.
Like gone fishing.
Kobe will be there.
I'll see you now. Hi, I am Kobe.
Are you the doctor? No, I'm the nurse. Here's the doctor, and then out comes Otto.
Now, what I really want to do is all of your
And he comes back
employees.
with his 2 friends, and they're in the trench coat.
Hands are replaced with scalpels.
All of your employees are named after music. I got to figure out some way to cleverly name all my. I don't know. After,
Scalpel, hemostat.
That's right. Yeah.
Hernia, bring me.
Listen, it's cute when I do it. Harmony, aria, melody, they're adorable.
Harmony, hernia. Come on.
Speaking of names, again in the Discord, which has just been rocking, I can't remember. Maybe it was Ben who brought up the fact that Kiri, you inadvertently or on purpose or just the universe have a thing with names ending in E.
I mean, yeah, I think I talked about it. I mean, surely I didn't talk about it on the roundtable or it would have come up earlier, but I think I talked about it just with us, that Poppy and Billy were both consonant, vowel, double consonant, E, Y. And then Moxie is also an IE. And of course, that's a nickname. That's not her actual name. But nobody uses Moxlara unless it's Sable, who's very mad at her.
That was fabulous.
And it's one of those like Sable would, I mean, and now August knows, but I feel like up until that point, August probably didn't know Moxie's full name. But anyway, it's just a coincidence. Again, I would love to talk to my therapist about these things. There's a lot of subconscious things happening, I guess.
August just assumed your name isn't even Moxie.
Oh,
it's like Cheryl.
So
And they just call her Moxie because she has that school of dance.
She's got that Moxie.
adopted nickname.
Got that Moxie.
There you go.
Or you're just,
There you go.
you know.
And then what's crazy is we have talked about, and I have plans to make it happen, that if something happens to Moxie, the replacement character is
Can't have.
Rhapsody.
I would love to play Rhapsody.
I think that's
Moxie might run into a dragon fight to play Rhapsody.
The nice thing about Rhapsody is, her coming in at a higher level would not be abnormal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Rhapsody is old. We would probably put some mechanics in place that would slow her down. Because she's old for an elf, even.
There are no mechanics in place for being at 1 hit point, so I think her being really old would be fine.
Yeah, there used to be. First edition did have rules for age.
Yeah.
For
First
age,
edition
they did,
They have rules for age. And of course, they had rules for drunkenness, too. Which I think needs to be brought back. 'Cause that's hilarious.
saying.
Of course, I think comeliness needs to be brought back from second edition, too.
Comeliness would be a fantastic stat because, Hitler was not attractive,
No,
but
but he had a high charisma.
riz.
That was the best way to describe charisma.
Because we talked about my regular Saturday night game was D&D. It's now Savage Worlds. That's a they're kind of like feats. That's a trait that you can take.
yeah.
It's not
an
called
auto game,
comeliness. It's called attractive.
It's attractive. Which
I call it the hot factor. And me and
I think that's a good way to put
Vampire
that.
is literally
Yeah.
called appearance.
Oh.
It's a scaling 1 to
Yeah.
5.
In Vampire the Masquerade?
My friend Trent and I, in our last campaign, were both hot, and it got us in a little bit of trouble, actually. And then this campaign, we both very specifically did not pick hot, but for some reason my character keeps trying to flirt with people to get them to give her information, and Trent will lean over and be like, Kira, you're not hot in this campaign. I said, but I'm a sorcerer, so I'm a little hot.
That just seems very classist to think that all the sorcerers like are wearing like, you know, the
No, she does fire magic.
It's burning hands.
The high cut.
It's the burning
Yeah,
hands.
she does fire magic.
Yeah.
All of her trappings are light and fire.
do you see what I have to work with people? Do you
That
see
is right.
things?
Oh, by
know
the way,
you
so I
love
have a
us.
question for you.
Oh, yes.
As I'm filling out this character sheet, I noticed that I put down that I'm at 3rd level and below 3rd level. This is in the brand new 2024 character sheet.
Yes.
Underneath there, it says XP, and it's blank.
Oh.
Now, question for the DM.
Yes.
Because we're apparently going off of XP rather than milestone, which I
Well,
totally
it's-
believe in.
It's a blending, but yes.
Okay, I totally believe it because I believe
It's mile
in
XP.
XP. Yeah, it's mile XP. But you're keeping that to yourself rather than sharing it.
I have been, yes, and I
feel like it's mostly because at least I don't care.
well, no, I kept it to myself because you guys did, after the fishery, as we mentioned at the very beginning, have enough XP to be
Right.
3rd level. And if I said you have, 1,500 or whatever,
Right.
you all would have gone, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're
Kiri wouldn't
mature
have.
enough that
Yeah.
you wouldn't have.
But I mean, it's like 900
I-
XP to
I
get
don't
up to
even
3rd
know.
level.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What point hits
Yeah,
my-
I don't do. I have
have
played
done-
XP exactly 0 times.
Do you remember
X-
tracking
Such a-
XP?
Can you
Oh,
remember
it's
when
so much
everyone
fun.
got different or leveled at different
Yeah.
XP? So your party would start off, everybody's at 1. Next thing you know, someone's 5, someone's 3.
Yeah.
It
Why?
works.
Because
used
the
to do
actual
milestones. Sorry, I used to do milestones, and then when AL switched over to I used to do XP, but when
Yeah.
AL moved over to milestones, I was like, this is better.
Now I did.
It is the story way. It really
Well,
is.
it depends because see, here's the thing: I actually, when I ran my Saturday night group we went through the Isle of Dread, and we went through
Yes.
the Keep on the Borderlands. 'Cause I pulled up these old, they basically would have spent almost the entire adventure sitting at 1st level.
Yeah.
And that's boring.
Boring.
Now, unfortunately, because we did do XP, they were like 4th, 5th level by the time we were coming to the end of that. I'm like, they were able to plow through everything.
Yeah.
But it just, I didn't want them sitting at the same level, because at Milestone, it would have just been sitting at 1st level for the longest time. And that's,
Right.
as you know, as you were talking about, Kiri, 1st level just really kind of blows.
Yeah,
You know,
Moxie
there's
almost died
There's a reason
multiple
why it's only
times.
300 XP to get to 2nd level.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So,
Which,
so
which the grognard in me was like the very first time, whenever it was 5 years ago or whatever, the very first 6 years, the very first time I saw that EXP chart, I was like, 300 experience points
Yeah.
to get to 2nd level? Like, back in my day, it was
I know.
1,000. You had to get,
yeah, and it was all different. There was like 5,000 for the wizard, 1,000 for the fighter.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Yeah,
and
like
I
Johnny
think-
was just saying.
I think it's kind of building off of what Johnny said earlier, that 5e is superhero kind of
Yes.
based. It's all very character based and character driven, and it promotes a lot more RP, it feels like.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't played older editions, so I can't speak from experience, but just based on kind of what I've heard about kind of the play style and stuff like that, is there's a lot less dungeon crawling, a lot less grinding, unless that's what you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And that it leaves room for people who have more RP. So in my head, Milestone, the way that Milestone works, is that there's a certain amount of like combat XP air quotes there, that you have to earn, and a certain amount of RP XP. Like, you've
Right.
got to go through you have to do, so like, we hit 3rd level XP combat-wise, but we hadn't hit 3rd level RP, because we hadn't done a lot of RP.
Right.
So we do those 2 episodes that are just RP, and now we've earned 3rd
Right.
level.
Which
And
is
then-
kind of the milestone aspect of it, I
Yeah.
think. Like, have these interactions.
Yeah.
You
and
need to
you've
talk
done
to
that.
people.
Yeah,
Very
and
good.
You
it-
can't just go into the woods and kill a bunch of hogs, right?
Right, and that's what milestone really is all about. Is the idea that you are giving XP for things that for the other 2 parts of D&D that are important but never get XP, which is exploration
Yes.
and role playing.
I love giving XP for those things.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, just for my 2 cents on it, what I would do, I've adopted over when I'm doing a 5e thing to milestone. Otherwise, I'll do XP, but I'll do a special XP where if instead of like fighting this thing to the death, you can somehow talk your way out of the fight, you'll get something.
Smart.
You'll get some kind of XP
Smart,
because
smart.
I'm not looking at it like you get XP for killing the dude or the thing. You get XP for beating the encounter.
Yeah.
You know, and so
100%.
Well, and that's something in Savage Worlds as well. There's been multiple times where my not hot character has gotten us out of a fight, and so that game has a lot of bennies, like Pathfinder. So we'll get bennies for those kinds of encounters.
That's cool. Connor, you said that you like when DDL switched over, you're like, oh, this is much, much better. Is it kind of mirroring the same thoughts, or was there like something that you really enjoy about Milestone?
So AL was a bit different. So when they first implemented it, it was like, okay, you have to do, for this tier, you have to do so many, like, modules or, like, adventures in order to, like, gain a level.
Gotcha.
So I think in, like, tier 1, it was like you had to do at least, like, 2 or 4 to get to, like, a next level.
Okay.
And then in the next tier, it'd be like 8 or something like that to get to the next level.
So very scenario based. Yeah.
And then now, this one I kind of don't like near as much. Now it's as soon as you complete the adventure, you can level up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you could actually reach 20th level in 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think they're doing that to push people, not to push people, but to give people the opportunity to have a higher play?
I think they're doing that because they don't like AL anymore.
Well, sort of, but I also think it was because remember in season 8 is when they tried to really mess with you know, the treasure points, and it was just a whole bunch, and there was. They almost brought math back to having to level up. You know, you could, if you were above level 5, you could get 3, 4, you know, adventure points, and you know, and
Which,
8 adventure
honestly-
points would level you up. And I think they just finally went, just if you do an adventure at level, you can level up if you want. You can choose to or not, but
Which it was so weird when they first implemented that, because they did it for Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
yeah.
The heist game.
Yeah.
You're saying I can't have actual treasure
that's right.
yeah.
during the heist?
Yeah, it was such a
Yeah, that one was a little weird.
Wasn't there a
for me.
short-lived rule also that defined what a session is, and people found a loophole? So, Michael, if you and I just were sitting in a bar, and I said, "Oh, I've got a D&D book in my car," and I went and got it and pulled it out, and we opened it up and talked about it for at least 120 minutes. That counted as a session, and we both got points.
No,
the
the session always had to be 3 people minimum.
Okay, well,
And
yeah.
up to
So
7
you
people.
and 3 people.
So you and 2
it had,
others.
And it had to
Yeah.
no, it had to actually I think it was it had to be a set. It has to be a set adventure.
Okay,
You could
okay.
never just go pull up a DM's guide and go.
Well, that
"Let's
was like
just
the way
talk
it was
about
worded or something. It was like basically if like you and a couple other people are sitting around a book talking about D&D.
No. It has to actually have to be a DDAL
Okay.
adventure.
Yeah.
You would never be able. Now you could sit around for 4 hours and
Say you played one.
BS your way through a DDAL adventure. If you, but that's also like I could roll the dice and go, that was a 20.
Yeah.
You know.
Cheater.
How much
Yeah,
fun did you
it's
have?
like, do you really want to go? Do you really want to cheat at Dungeons and Dragons? I mean, really?
We also got to know that person that shows up with that, like, yeah, I got a level 15 character, and they don't, and they never played that high before ever. They just say they have one.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Something about this. I mean, it'd be much harder with DDAL because there's more people playing, but society can actually track.
Yeah.
And you can get audited.
And that's-
With
and that's-
DDAL, it's a little bit harder.
And that's
'cause
the whole
there's
point.
so
With it.
many
You
people
still have to
playing.
have log sheets in AL.
Yeah.
You still have to, prove if the DM wants to call you on it. Why do you have a second level character with a +3 sword? Let's look at your log sheet and figure out how you did that. But then there's ways to skirt it. We would I remember once when Aiden ran us through what's the one that's in the level 6 season 6 Tales from the Yawning Portal, the one that gives you like wave and all the magic items out the what.
Wild.
People would play that one adventure just because first off it's a 4-hour adventure, but your character walks away with a ton of magic
I know
items.
people in the PF1 Society that are like, "Oh, you're gonna play in the special? Well, come over and I'll run these 3 adventures for you real fast, so you get this sword and this item."
Yeah.
Over there on the campaign line, it says Monty Hall.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So yes,
Shout out to Will Warner.
There are people who can do that. You still have to play the adventure, but you're walking away with, okay, my character needs some magic items. And I remember I had a character in Waterdeep because of that whole treasure thing, and at that time you could only one person could have the magic item, and then you could. That I ended up having no magic items. I was like 8th level.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
So now of course it's you can if there's a magic item in the thing that anybody can take it and just use that from there on. So, it's a much better system, I think. Just it makes it simpler for the administrators.
Yeah.
Which I feel like not Monty Hall-esque, where it's like everything, but I do feel like I have a tendency to like let magic items show up pretty early. We've already got like the padded +1 armor that someone has.
I don't think anyone's used
Or
that
no
because
one's put it on.
No one's put it on.
well,
Yeah.
because I don't think anyone can use it.
No one's geared it or whatever, or that it's probably not better than the what's August have chain?
Adamantium.
Adamantium.
I wish that's a good
We'll
one.
see that character sheet for a minute. So
Yeah, he's in chain.
I
right
can't
now.
have armor.
You can no longer have armor because of your new. That's like I said.
you're downside.
It's the Bard Monk, and I love the. Why would you want?
Why would I
armor?
want armor when I could be hot?
Exactly. Armor's just gonna weigh you down.
Armor's just gonna hide my cleavage.
I don't know. Clyde Caldwell After Dark would beg to differ.
You can't be awesome in armor.
I'm telling you what, it's not that the armor in Clyde Caldwell, famous artist from the 80s and stuff, it's not that bikini chainmail armor is protecting anything. It's the distraction bonus you
It's
get.
a +2 charisma. That's what that armor is.
So, we're really getting close here. We got about, I don't know, 4, 8, 7, 8. I forgot.
Pick a number.
Math.
We've got
Less than 10 minutes.
1 minute.
Just tell us
So,
on the outtake.
what are you guys looking forward to now that we are going into the next?
Killing things and taking their stuff.
I don't think we're doing that anymore.
Drinks.
I like that the last time we did our round table, it was Kiri posed with a hard conundrum, and now this time it's me posed with a hard conundrum.
How
Which we
so?
didn't talk about.
With me giving my report to Minthra and
Yeah.
her. Okay, who are we gonna support? The
Yeah.
king, the current king,
Yeah.
or this
Usurper.
Zaylin Pierce?
Yeah, do we need to start putting things in play in case this Zaylin Pierce
Well,
guy is
and-
making a move?
I will say, as a listener of that part, I'm not inside either of your heads, and then we didn't talk about it. But Minthra says, I think, because Brooke says that Brooke says that Minthra looks Sable in the eyes and says, I think we need to decide something, which sounds like maybe Minthra is either saying, one, we're going to stack the facts so that the Sapphire Society chooses what we want, or B, we're going to make a choice outside of the Sapphire Society. As a listener, we didn't talk about those things, dear listener. I have no idea what's going on. I know it just as much as you. But that's kind of where Kiri's head is at with that as well.
How do you think Sable is interpreting that line when she says we need to decide? Was she like the Imperial Sapphire Society we, or was it the people in this room we?
I think Sable took it as the Imperial we.
Ah, very
Because
nice.
she's not like number one head
No.
honcho
No, she's
of the Sapphire Society, But she's pretty up there. She's got a lot of
she
leverage
is.
in the society.
Johnny is going to be so excited about the upcoming episode.
It just definitely felt like we're going to tell selective truths to the higher ups who are going to make this decision, so that we can not really manipulate, so that we can, but so that they can manipulate.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel that like whatever Sable does tell to her will have some weight on how she pulls her strings.
Yeah.
And so I guess it is a little column A and column B.
Yeah, I think so.
How is the Sapphire going to respond to this, and how are we going to respond to this?
Because I think Minthra and Sable, don't let me put words in your mouth, but I think Minthra and Sable are both very interested in climbing the ladder, right? And even though Minthra may be like in that second tier, you know, she's very, very close to being one of the inner 6 people of the Sapphire Society.
Now there are 6.
There we go. She's very, very, one for each district of the city, right? So anyway, she's very, very close to being, kind of mirrors the city council a little bit in its structure.
The Dark City Council.
Yeah, exactly, kind
Yeah.
of. But she's not quite there, but very close to being so. And if she can climb the ladder and bring an apprentice with her, that'd be all right.
I will say, I know we're running out of time here. In the last little bit of 14, Kiri just starts peppering Brooke with all these questions because
Which is great.
Oh yeah.
because remember that Moxie is 65 years old.
Yeah,
She's
know.
been living in this city since she was a child, like 5 or 6. So 60 years she's been living in this city, and the interruption of magic only happened 100 years ago. So that's not in the term of her lifespan.
Right.
That's nothing.
When she was born, it was kind of a low magic era.
Yeah.
And then about the time she reached adulthood, then magic starts coming back.
So
And now it's stable again.
And it makes a lot of sense. You see, I think, Moxie using her place in the city. So like we talked about her getting that message or attempting to get that message to Sable. And then here she's like, who's our council member? Who are his children? And me realizing that that council member is probably like maybe 10 years older than me. Like he's...
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah.
He's not that much older than me. He's just a human because he's a human.
It's part of the problem with age in D&D. It's an awkward thing. It's like why you got a first level elf adventurer who's like 400, 500 years old. Like, what were you doing?
Playing video games. So, and what's his situation? Wife and kids? Who are his daughters? Those kinds of things, and we're seeing that, and I think. In this next stretch of episodes, I'm really interested to see kind of what we're going to explore, a new section of the city and a new location, which is always really fun. And we're going to do some, like we've done a lot of combat, but we also went into this campaign knowing that it was going to be a good portion of political intrigue. And so we're going into that espionage part of things, that Ocean's 11 part of things, and so I think it'll be interesting to see how, like, what happens and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to close it down and get to episode 15, which we're very, very excited about. So any last
I can't wait to see what sound effects you have for this coming
Nightclub.
You're going to have to give me a description of what type of, because I've got a lot of music sitting for it. It just depends on what kind of a nightclub
I'm
it is.
picturing 1980s Miami Vice.
Right, it's like,
Pushed up
what
our
does
sleeves on our suits.
what does steampunk, like, speakeasy look like? Like, what does, you're the you're the
You're the
folding.
DM. You're the one who's creating this place. All I'm going to do is go off what you tell me it is.
I always get so excited when we're sitting around at Moxie's bar having a conversation, and I hear like clink, clunk, 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 slide of the glass. I'm like, my gosh, the guy's a genius.
Michael, I need you to listen to Abney Park so that way you can get some steampunk band music inspiration.
Abney Park. Okay.
Here's a
band.
plug for Abney Park, the band.
There we go.
Okay.
They're good.
Yeah, see,
Should've named
I'm
it-
old now, so I no longer listen to music.
Should have named it the Pink Pony Club.
If the music's older, than 30 years.
they're throwing
I-
My thing is,
Exactly,
if I
stop
haven't
it.
already listened to it, I'm not listening to it.
That's right. If it's older than 30 years, I have no idea what it is. All right, guys, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we will see you very soon. See you. Bye-bye.
Semper Tyrannis.